I'm back. Mary made it just in time. Mary made it just in time. Yes, she did. Ginger Snap says, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. Well, I've got a few. Hello, Miss K. Hello, Rexy. Hello, Ilyanka. Little Bish said, no offense, but how can y'all sit here and say anyone else knew for sure you don't know? No, I'm not saying that. Welcome to the channel, by the way. I haven't even started. Kaleidoscope Hope, hello. Kitty Cat Mom, how are you? Whist, DT, Connie. Oh, sorry, Lil. Well, here's the whole thing, Lil Bish. We just agree to disagree. We just have conversations, and the way you see things and the way you perceive it is not the way someone else does. But as we talk together, we kind of see what other people are talking about. And if we can't, we just agree to disagree and go the other way. That's really all there is to it. It's just a crazy situation. We kind of have to do that in all these cases. Hello, Radio Gaga. What's up, girlfriend? Bob made it in. Hello, Pat. So I went to vote. Then, like I said, some other stuff I had going on real world wise didn't work out. So I was like, well, let's see. We had talked about it in the show this morning. The Delphi show, by the way, thanks for being in there for that. And I said, maybe later this afternoon. I didn't expect it to be this soon, but that's okay. I said, we'll do a show about this crazy situation with Jared, who has been indicted, by the way, charged and indicted. What Doug said overnight. And discuss it. I definitely have my own opinions. First off, did everybody go vote, or did you make your plans to go vote? She says, I understand that. Sorry, I was just speaking my opinion on that. No one in here would like to be told. No, not at all. No, you're a good girl. Yep, some people voted early. Some people are braving the lines today. I just got done. It was like a damn Black Friday sale. Goodness. Got my sticker and everything. I even took a selfie. I normally don't do that type of stuff, but I was kind of feeling feisty today. So I have to be really careful, and I need everybody's help. Okay? All hands on deck for this. I do not care, and I really don't. I really don't. I do not care about your support for the Adventures with Purpose channel. I would never on this channel suggest anybody not support another channel. And that is however you do it, whether you watch it, you just sub to them one time, you're a member. I don't do that. Also, YouTube terms of service forbids it. So we have to be real careful. You can say whatever you want. You can say, but I want to make it very clear that I am not suggesting that you do or do not. This is basically my thoughts on this. I want to hear everybody else's. The link is pinned. The link is pinned at the top. Yes, it is. And also, I like when cooler heads prevail in things like this because I can't stand the mob mentality. It just drives me nuts. Whist. Thank you, Whist. See, now this is what I was supposed to say, and it should have sounded more eloquent. Wist said this isn't about their channel, and it's not. Or their work pulling cars, finding, solving cold cases. It's not about that. It's really not. It's about Jared. That's really what it's about. It really is. Muscle said Wist, I agree. See, that would have been the better way to say it. That definitely would have been the better way to say it. So anyway, over the weekend, I see you guys coming backstage. I promise I'm going to get to you. So over the weekend, Reddit blows up talking about these charges against Jared. Jared is the founder of Adventures with Purpose. It is his brainchild. He is the owner. He's had many people work with him over the years. Some are, divers, some work on the video team, some have been partners. They've come and gone. Some have been there the whole time. I don't know exactly who his oldest employee is. I have no idea. But it came out over the weekend that when he was 17 in 1992, can somebody drop the membership link? Here, hang on, I'll do it. Hang on. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Dallas. There it is. So, over the weekend, like I said, Reddit blows up. Then I find out that his sister posted about this over during the Kylie Rodney case. Now, as you know, with the Kylie Rodney case, that's when most people became familiar with Adventures of Purpose. I watched their episode about Kyron Horman. Great work. I emailed them back in 2020 about the Mark Fullerton case. Jared actually emailed me back and said, well, we don't do that type of water searches. There has to be a car involved. But anyway, he let me know. That's fine. I let Mark Fullerton's aunt know. Thank you very much for becoming a new YouTube member. We got Radio Gaga, Dallas, Anna. You guys aren't going to want to miss the members live. This was actually almost a members live. Almost. Okay, so that was in September. How Colombo SF Investigates did not know about this, I don't know. Because as you know, he hates them with a passion. He hates them. Hates them. Kylie Rodney's mother, I can't say she hates them. She wasn't gushing with appreciation for finding Kylie. Other families do. Other families do. We've talked about it before with Lindsay. I don't know. I don't believe Lindsay knew any of this at all. Okay, emails surfaced on Reddit between Jared, the owner and founder of Adventures with Purpose, and his cousin. Okay? I don't know if I mentioned that yet or not. His victim, and I want to let you know, we need a trigger warning. His victim was his 9-year-old cousin. This wasn't any sort of, like Don Wells would say, playing house. This was violent. This was a violent crime. People in the family knew about this. It was swept under the rug. That's the nicest way I can say it. She has confronted him in these emails. She wanted him to go to the police station, turn himself in, and basically just to be on the sex offender list. That's really what it came down to. People say this is about money. She wants money. If she does, she does. He did wrong. He did wrong. He should have been held accountable in 1992, but he wasn't. She said that, I mean, I don't know the relationship she has with her family, and she's welcome to come up here and tell it. That she came across one of his videos and she saw the whole hero status, and rightfully so, it obviously triggered a lot of memories and flat out pissed her off. Because she knows what he's really all about. She knows what he did to her when she was 9 years old. She also knows that the family told her, "Suck it up, Buttercup." It is said that he assaulted his sister, and they say there's others, but I don't know. Those are the only two that I know of. Not going to speculate on that. It's bad enough. It's bad enough. One of the emails basically mentioned that his team knows about this. That's what's got people going. Now then, as I said on my video this morning, because Doug spoke out overnight, there's only so much I believe, this is truly just me. I believe there is only so much that Doug can say. And why, you ask? Because he mentions in his video, you're going to hear it in a minute, he mentions contracts. I have a feeling that they have to sign non-disclosure agreements. Not because of any nastiness Jared did, but because it is kind of common practice in a lot of businesses. It is. I know where I work, we have a social media clause. How the hell I got around that, I'll never know. But anyway, I believe there was a non-disclosure agreement. Now then, a lot of people say, look, I support them. I support them. I don't support Jared. I'm just letting you know, because you need to educate yourself, and I'm not suggesting anything either way. Just so you know, it is not that easy for Jared just to pack up and get away. He invented Adventures with Purpose. Like I said on the show yesterday, this is his brainchild. He owns it. He did appoint a new CEO, I guess a couple of months ago. The chief executive officer is not the owner. Many companies have a CEO and then president owner, or owner and then CEO. CEO can be totally separate. What I said in my video this morning, and some people got very upset with me, I said it needs to be addressed. Yes, he's the founder, Mel. He's the founder. I said it needs to be addressed. They need to be transparent about this. Is he profiting in any way from Adventures with Purpose? It's a fair question. It has nothing to do with an NDA. Who works there, works there. Is he now like a silent partner? Because just because he's not on video or on camera doesn't mean he's not getting royalties and not getting paid. Purple Passion said, I think that is why a new CEO was appointed. Yep. Now, people keep saying stocks. I don't know what stocks they're talking about. They're not a publicly traded company or anything like that. He gets royalties, well, from watching the videos, merchandising, and I'm sure he gets a pretty hefty chunk because he's the founder. The way that it started was they were cleaning up waterways and recording it, because don't forget, There are many, many, many other channels about diving. Yeah, it is an LLC. It is. So when all these people were jumping on my ass during the Kylie Rodney case going, "They do it for free. They do it for free. They do it for free." I'm like, "Would you stop with that nonsense?" Look, they don't write out an invoice and hand it to law enforcement or hand it to the family. Of course they get paid. The boat wasn't free. The gas isn't free. Doug's haircuts aren't free. No, that's stupid. I get so tired of that. Jared's really, really good at marketing. So I want you to think about this before anybody, this is just my opinion, before anybody gets pissed with Doug or Nick or any of the other guys. Jared is a salesman. Jared he's a very good marketing person. Them getting in on finding Kylie Rodney, I don't think was as coincidental as they would lead you to believe. I think they volunteered a lot more heavily than all their fans reaching out. I don't doubt that people didn't reach out. He's very good at marketing. He's a real greasy individual, if you know what I mean. If you want to wind it back to the early 80s, you've seen those movies where they're in the polyester suit and a really, really wide tie, and they're selling these clunkers, and then they're, you know, turning back the miles so it looks like it has less miles. That's Jared. He's very manipulative. I truly believe this, not because I'm naive or because I want to believe it, because none of this really matters to me. I'm not vested with them. I'm not a fangirl. I don't care. I really don't. I care about the crime part of it. I care about the crime part of it. Um, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. What I was saying is, I truly do not believe that the guys that work around him, even though these emails were coming in back and forth, I don't know that they even really read it. I really don't. And remember, he's very good at selling, marketing. He's a real greasy dude. Who knows what he told them? And I'm sure they believed him, because when you think about it, it would be really hard to believe, well, the guy that gave you a dream job and who you probably consider a friend. And also, you're talking about a violent, violent crime. He says he does not filter his emails, so everybody got the same emails. I don't know. I don't know. I would have, if I had come across something like that, I would not have believed that my coworker was really did it. Also, with the newfound fame, because they definitely got a big boost, huge boost with the Kylie Rodney case. Just imagine old Jared telling the guys, "Hey guys, every family's got one. And well, I've got two. My sister's crazy. My cousin's a nut. She said that I did this when she was like 9, 10 years old. Come on, it's been 30 years. You think she would have said something by now? My sister's just super jealous of me. She's always been a problem." And he's right, every family's got one. So, they're gonna believe Jared, right? They're gonna believe Jared. I've seen so much craziness about this. I mean, I've seen some posts about Jared's house. It's $1.2 million, which, considering where he lives, he got a good deal because it's super expensive property where he's at. It's like 2,500 square foot. So it's not like a mega mansion. And if it is, well, that's just called American capitalism. 3 bed, 3 bath. And I'm like, of all the things you're talking about his house, who cares about his house? I've seen 4 different posts about that. Crazy. Crazy. I really think, well, it's like we were, now this is totally apples and oranges, but it's like we were talking about today on the Delphi case, and we've talked about before with different cases. People like that are master manipulators. They really are. Lori said, wonder what his wife is saying. I don't know. I have a feeling she's pretty pissed off. And she probably believes him. She probably believes him. Let's go through some comments from the video I posted this morning. I'm getting all tongue-tied. This is getting me all excited. Hang on. All right. I had several comments, and I've got to find my glasses. Are they on my head? Oh, no, they're right here. I had several comments that said, who cares? It's been 30 years. Well, the law cares. Some crimes, you would say, who cares? Because people grow up, right? If Jared stole a candy bar when he was 17, I wouldn't care. This is a violent, violent action. When I read her email of what he did, well, it took me a while to get through it. The law cares. Some people say that there's a statute of limitations on what he did. No, there's not. There's not, because he's been charged and he's been indicted. So it doesn't matter how many people left that comment. I'm just letting you know there's a lot of people that say, who cares? It's been 30 years. Nisa said, thank you, Brooks. I feel so bad for all the people who worked so hard to bring this company to what it is today. Me too. I don't think Doug knew what he did either. But when did they find out? And what did they do when they found out? It just breaks my heart. That's what I want to know. Not whether or not you believed the emails that were like company emails coming through. Not so much that. If you didn't believe it, you didn't believe it. 'Cause personally, if my boss told me, or my coworker, hey, I got a crazy ass family member and you're going to see some stuff coming through, I'd be like, yeah, I got you. I got you. Especially something as hard to believe as this. But when did they find out? Because these charges came down the pike last week. Biddy said, I guess they have work contracts that they can't talk about each other negatively in the media. I wondered about that myself, because it's no secret that Jared has had falling outs with other people. I believe he had a partner that when they parted ways, it was not friendly. It was kind of a, my lawyer will call your lawyer type of thing. So the way that Doug was talking in the video led me to believe there is probably a non-disclosure attached. He mentioned contracts. And I said in my video this morning, I think we need to be transparent and let John public know, how do those contracts benefit Jared? Because you see, before I put my support around anything, I want to know if the founder is still benefiting from what he invented, which would be Adventures with Purpose. Java said work contracts are null and void when it comes to crime, just like attorney-client privilege doesn't cover crime or potential crime. I would think so. Mel said Jared's sister came out last year in July. So again, how did the sleuth SF Investigates not know this? I guess he's just not that good at his job. Ilyanka said, voice for the voiceless. What about the voice of Jared's victims? Their own family members shut them up and enabled Jared to continue victimizing his victims. We all know the phrase, birds of a feather stick together. I think a lot of people, and I feel the same way, that if you're going to address this elephant in the room, one, make it clear that you have cut ties with him, that you are in no way, shape, or form affiliated with him. I understand innocent until proven guilty, and that is for the courts. But we have charges and we have an indictment. We also have emails where he's going back and forth with her, admitting it and telling her to get over it, saying you're not going to hold a 46-year-old man accountable for something a 17-year-old did. Tear to Share is back said it won't be easy to get Jared because he's the sole owner of the company. All the equipment belongs to him, and the big issue is the brand name, which company established across the years, and Doug probably doesn't want to leave it to Jared because he worked for this name as well. I do see Doug and other guys wanting to continue to do what they do without Jared, and it might mean court fights and litigation for years. It's going to have to, because Jared's not going to go away peacefully. And also, to get in the water and put your magnet on the car, you need a boat. If Jared's not getting paid, Jared might say, that's mine. That's my stuff. You see, we were going out and clearing waterways back in the day, and someone said, hey, my brother, uncle, I can't remember, is missing. This is the car we think he was driving. Can you look for this car? Specifically looked for that car, and lo and behold, the family member was in there. Well, that took them on a totally different path, as you know. They still look for cars, and sometimes in those cars is a deceased person. So he's not going to walk away from all of that. I know a lot of people are thinking that they're going to put him in jail and throw away the key. I don't think that's going to happen either. Again, it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. It was 30 years ago. I think that's going to weigh heavily on this. I haven't been able to find, and none of you have, because we've been talking about it, any other crimes. I don't see that there's anything pending with his sister. Maybe that will change. I don't know. But he's going to get a good attorney. And I think they are going to argue everything until they come up with some sort of plea, I guess, that he can live with. Whether it's, I'm just throwing something out there, a 10-year sentence and serve 6 house arrest. The main thing is he's not going to want to register as a sex offender. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen at all. That's not going to happen. I wish they could charge the parents that did nothing about it. How old are they now? Pippi says if he's in prison, he won't need any of his equipment, and honestly, it should all be sold and monies awarded to his victims. There you go. Right now, we only know of one victim, and that's where the charges came from. The rest right now, and I'm not saying I don't believe them, are accusations. But I feel really bad when people say, well, they're just not going to deal with Jared anymore. So Doug's just going to take it over. And so all is good because I liked Doug better anyway. It doesn't work that way. Business is nasty. And he's not just going to give away what he's built up. He'll either stay in the background and draw a check. Somebody will have to buy him out, maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. All right, let me look at a couple of these emails. And once the criminal part of it's done, I have a feeling she will sue him civilly. All right, I got to pull this up on my phone. I can't read it on the screen. If you guys can read it, great, but I can't read it on here. Okay, the one on the screen. This is where we're talking about the office. He says, my life holds no secrets, and everyone in my office feels your pain and has seen this email string, for I don't filter my own emails. This is the email that upsets people badly. This leads us all to believe that all the guys have been reading his emails. He says, I don't filter my emails. So now we have kind of this thought in our head that they're all very, very well aware of it, that they believe her. Well, I mean, he admitted it. He says, my life holds no secrets, and everyone in my office feels your pain and has seen this email string, for I don't filter my emails. Now, my question about that is, he says, my office. They don't work in an office. Does he have an office? Like, is there something set up for people to do, let's say, accounting, human resources? I don't know. I'm just throwing around some terms. He says my office, though. They know me for the man that I am and not the mistakes of a 12-year-old who learned to recognize the cycle and break the cycle as many of us cousins did. You were younger and not ready to accept my apology and recognize the steps we made for future generations to protect them. I hope you can one day find forgiveness and peace. Feel free to have any last words, for I will not respond to any further attacks as to my character today based upon those actions as a youth. Should you desire a healthy adult conversation as to the past, I'm open to helping you through the acceptance and growth that many of us faced and have dealt with. He's trying to play like a 12-stepper, you know? Ooh, hang on. Java Joe said he does have office staff who don't go into the field. That's what I wondered, because he said my office. So that would tell me that the guys don't know, which would make sense because office emails don't need to be popping up on Doug's phone or Nick's phone or any of the other guys' phones. But there is an office. That makes more sense. All right, first off, he says he was 12. He was not 12, he was 17. There's a difference. He says, if you have not done so already, I may suggest reaching out to blank and lean on her for guidance. As one closer to your age, who within the family has gone through this with us? I'm not sure your relationship with Aunt blank or your mother, but I'd suggest leaning on them as well, for they experienced much of the same in their own youth. So he's basically saying this is a family problem, and he did this when he was 17. He says 12, but it turns out it was 17. Okay, so then she highlights, you can see at the bottom. She says the person that he refers to as blank would be my cousin and one of his previous victims prior to me. He referred me to her so that way she could help me learn how to forgive him. Not to mention, unprovoked by me, she contacted me a few days after these emails happened and has tried to convince me, but all of this is not as bad as I see it. So another victim who he said talked to her. She's probably somebody in the office, if you know what I mean. Reached out to her after she sent these emails and said, "Oh, listen, this has happened to many of us, but we've broke the cycle now. We're perfectly normal. We're perfectly normal now." I would have been furious with that cousin. All right, so here's another email that she sends to him. And she says, "Let's do some math here. I was 9 or 10 when living in Utah, and you forced me to have sex with you on my bathroom floor upstairs. You are 6 or so years older than me. That makes you older than 12. At Grandma and Grandpa's house, you were living there and you had your own car, a Volkswagen Beetle, and was driving it. So please stop making it sound as if you were a young child during the time you were molesting me. Maybe you started that young with others, but as you are not willing to face your wrongdoing in a proper fashion, then that is on you and you alone. Anyone who supports you and your sick delusional fantasy of forgiving yourself for the pain and suffering you caused and willingly and knowingly caused not only a child but your own family member, but I do appreciate your admitting it all in writing." He replies, "You're welcome. I hope it helps you in your healing process." That's quite a narcissist move. This is in February, by the way. It says February 5th. I'm wondering if their email exchange is what got him charged. He responds still on February 5th. He says, "Unfortunately, your desire to have a 46-year-old male live the mistakes of a 12-year-old simply is not realistic." Well, she already cleared that up for him. She already cleared that up for him. She said, "You were 17. You were driving a Volkswagen." So we get to this. Statement of probable cause. State of Utah versus old Jared. The defendant and the victim are cousins. In 1992, the victim was between 9 and 10 years old. The defendant is 7 years older than the victim. Just before November 1st, 1992, the victim lived in Ephraim, which is located in Sanpete County. About this time, the defendant and the victim were in the victim's bedroom when the defendant pinned the victim to the ground, pulled her underwear down, and put his During another incident that same year, the defendant and the victim were at the grandparents' house in Manti. I'm probably not saying that right. When the defendant laid on top of the victim and put his All right, so that's the charges. I believe he's got 2 charges dated November 3rd, 2022. So we're all good on that, right? We understand all that. Hello, Chris Melcher, where you been? We understand that. Jared's disgusting. Jared's disgusting. He also dumbed her down to say, just go talk to this cousin. They'll make it all better. She didn't want to talk to that cousin. That cousin got a hold of her, trying to give her a pep talk on how to get past what Jared did to her. And it didn't work because she continued wanting prosecution. She was right to do that. So when he says my office, because I don't filter my emails, my office also feels bad for you. I'm wondering if the cousin that reached out to her after these emails doesn't work in the office. Because I don't think he's going to reach out to anybody and say, hey, I've been getting emails from the cousin. You know, she was 9, I was 17. It was just a bad time in my life. But, I've moved on. I'm doing great things with my life now. Any chance you can reach out to her? No, I think she came across the emails. I don't think the office is the guys. That's just me, though. It's crazy. All right, Law and Crime. They put a video out today. I'm going to look at that. Then we're going to look at what Doug says about it. Some people were really put off with Doug. I was myself. And then I started thinking about a non-disclosure. But now that I'm thinking about the non-disclosure, this is like a ping pong tournament with me in my head. He's been indicted. He's been charged. So I imagine the non-disclosure didn't cover anything like that because you wouldn't think that that would happen. I don't know. Let me think about it. Let's look at this first.
I'm going to miss today's episode as we are in Branson, Missouri, where back in 2017, a duck boat goes on land and then it goes on water, and 17 people ended up passing away.
It's being reported that one of the founding members of the popular dive group Adventures with Purpose has been charged with raping a child. Attorney Jenny Alcati comes on to discuss. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. There is a disturbing report that has come out that a founding member of the volunteer dive group Adventures with Purpose has been criminally charged with raping a child. This comes from the U.S. Sun. There's been very, very limited information about this, very limited reporting on it, but we do have some details to talk to you about. Now,
is it just me, or has he always kind of had a creep vibe? When he kind of had that raspy, weird tone, he was on another channel after Kylie Rodney. And, as if it wasn't bad enough having to see the girl's car get pulled out of the lake, he's like, she was in the backpack. I was like, oh, did he really have to say it like that?
Followers here on Sidebar, you may recall that we had previously done interviews with Doug Bishop and Nick Rinn from this dive group before all of this news came to light. We actually interviewed them for their role in finding the body of missing teenager Kylie Rodney.
So we're going to head over here to the other side of the reservoir where there are lots of drive lanes down to the water's edge where people have cookouts, get-togethers, parties, family gatherings. This is a prime location where Kylie's vehicle could have made it into the reservoir.
And this is where there are human remains in the vehicle. Over.
Well, now 47-year-old Jared Lysick, one of the founding members of this organization, is reportedly facing 2 counts of rape of a child for conduct back in 1992 out in Utah. And I want to bring in trial attorney Jenny Alcati, who specializes in kind of a related topic of human trafficking. She's a regular on the Law and Crime Network. Jenny, good to see you. Thanks for coming on Sidebar. Look, as I said, there's not a lot out there. There's not a lot of details right now, but there is this court filing that says that Mr. Lysick faces 2 counts of rape of a child, which is a first-degree felony. One is from January 1st, 1992, and another is from October 1st, 1992. What do these crimes mean? What is the language of these statutes? What would a prosecution have to prove? And when you look at what we know, what stands out to you?
Yeah, so first off, I think one of the main important things to notice is the length of time of passage from the date of the incident to when these survivors and these victims actually came out about their abuse. It's very difficult, especially as a minor, to even process the fact that you were raped or you were sexually abused. So the mental processing that it takes for that and for the ability to come forward is why we have such great laws. And Utah has an amazing statute where there's no statute of limitations when it comes to minors being sexually abused or raped.
And just to make sure that we understand that, you're saying there's no statute of limitations, there's no time bar on criminal charges like this, right?
Correct. So there's no time bar for if you were raped as a minor to bring your claim in a criminal justice system. So that is.
I'm so glad this woman cleared that up, because people keep going back and forth with this statute thing. She's saying there is no statute. So when people say it was 30 years ago, who cares? Well, the law cares because there's no statute. They're saying, I don't care if you were, I don't care if it was 60 years ago. I don't care if he's 81 right now. There's no statute.
Is the nice thing, because we've seen, science has shown that minors who are abused, normally it takes them until the age of 53 to even come forward. So
I'm glad that was brought up too. Childhood victims, she said they come out at the age of 53. So think about that. When people say, why didn't she say something then? She did say something then, and the family told her, we forgive him. She's emailing him. He admits it. He tells her, I hope you find peace too. I'm a different person. The 46-year-old Jared is not the 17-year-old Jared. I'm sure that's true. I'm sure it is. I don't believe that he is this great person at all. I think he's still a slimy bastard because he's never been held accountable for this. But just by growing up, he's a different person. You know what I mean? So when people say, well, why didn't she say something then? She did. Well, then why didn't she say something, say, when she was 25? Maybe she did. Maybe she's been screaming about this all along, but it took him replying to her in an email that she had something concrete and not her word against his to show the prosecutor.
That's the first thing. The second thing is the statute's language is that we know a minor cannot consent to sexual intercourse. Therefore, it doesn't matter if they were forced. It doesn't matter if they were coerced. None of that matters. They cannot consent to sexual intercourse. So if they were a minor and they were raped by another individual, point proven. It's a felony of the first degree, and that can land them to jail from 15 to life in prison. It really depends. And 2 counts, it depends on what the judge wants to issue, but they can run it consecutively or they can run it concurrently. So it really just depends.
And just so we understand here again,
and let's not forget, Jared's got money. Okay, Jared's got money. Jared's still getting paid. Nobody has come out and said, we bought Jared out. Don't worry about Jared. All of this is us. Doug's the new dude. That's just not how business works. Okay? Jared has not been convicted. Jared is not in jail. Jared is still getting a paycheck. Jared is the founder. I know he appointed a new CEO. That doesn't mean anybody bought the company. That just means he's got someone else running it in name, a new name attached to it. So it's important that that was brought up. Because like I said, Jared's got money. Jared's going to have a good attorney. They're going to argue this hero thing. Look what he's done for all these families. Look at the Kylie Rodney case. They're going to have many of examples of how he's turned his life around. He told her, I hope you heal. I hope you get peace. So she said, depends on the judge. The judge could say, nah, 20 years per occurrence. I'm using that word lightly. So that's 40 years. Got to figure out how long he's going to serve in jail, though, right? Or they could say, no, we're going to do it one on top. We're going to do them together. So just 20 years. Jared's not going to go to jail for 20 years. So his attorney is going to argue everything and throw everything that sticks, everything, until they get it to something that he can move forward in life with. I have a feeling it's going to be some sort of house arrest. Um, maybe suspended sentence or suspended jail time. I don't know.
He allegedly did this. We don't know the exact details of everything yet. In Utah, is there any defense to, excuse me, is there any defense to say, I thought she was of age, right? She told me she was of age. I know that's a tricky question because certain states differ there, but what do we know about Utah?
So for Utah, we know that according to 765402, that no, without the individual's consent, regardless of the fact that they indicated, yes, I am of age, no, if they are a minor, it doesn't matter. There's no really defense in that retrospect.
And I have to ask you, there's something interesting because Adventures with Purpose has quite a big following on YouTube, and I think some other YouTube channels were taking notice of the fact that Mr. Lysick wasn't in the video of this group discovering the body of Kylie Rodney, one of their biggest videos. Is there any defense to, excuse me, is there any defense to say, I thought she was of age, right? She told me she was of age. That now I know that's a tricky question because certain states differ there, but what do we know about Utah?
So for Utah, we know that according to 765402, that no, without the individual's consent, regardless of the fact that they indicated, yes, I am of age, no, if they are a minor, it doesn't matter. There's no really defense in that.
Had to jump in on that. That is such a stupid ass thing to say. I don't even know why that guy asked that. He needs to read the paperwork. She was 9 years old. There is no way in hell they can use that defense. There's no way in hell they can use that. For one, she's his cousin. He knows how old she is. He may not remember her birthday, but he knows about how old she is. He also knows she's his cousin. He knows this. There's not going to be any, I thought she was 18. What a dumb, dumb thing to ask.
Retrospect.
And I have to ask you, there's something interesting because Adventures with Purpose has quite a big following on YouTube, and I think some other YouTube channels were taking notice of the fact that Mr. Lysick wasn't in the video of this group discovering the body of Kylie Rodney, one of their biggest videos, something that really put them on the map for what they did. Does that give you the sense that, I mean, we have no idea why that was the case, but does it give you the sense that maybe he was out of the spotlight considering these charges were coming down the pipeline?
It did give me the sense. Something that really kind of rubbed me the wrong way is, I had followed them for quite some time as well. And, when you see things like that, where you see, oh, they're trying to help society, they're trying to build a good systemic change to help save people. And then you hear a story like this, it really just makes you question everybody's motives, really. And when you think back on it and you see, oh, he wasn't there, it really does get you questioning, was there some type of reason for it? And it's really sad.
Well, we have to be clear, right? We don't know why he wasn't on. We don't know whether any of the other people at the organization even knew about this. He maybe wasn't on for whatever reason. And again, this was it's an interesting question, right? Because he allegedly did this. Let's assume, of course, that he did do this. Let's assume he gets convicted. What does that do to Adventures with Purpose? He's one of their founding members. You talk about the good that they've done. I'll give you an idea here. Since 2019, this group has solved at least 23 missing persons cases. The reason that they're getting such attention is because they do amazing work. They're able to provide tools that other people aren't able to do, or they just help, lend a helping hand. Whatever the situation is with Mr. Lysick, how is that going to affect the group's mission? How is that going to affect possible donations, where that is how they're actually able to operate? They were very transparent about it. They said that they receive a half a cent for anytime viewers watch an ad on their videos. That's how they actually make money. How's this going to affect the organization?
I think it's going to significantly affect the organization as a whole. I mean, I don't think they'll start getting donations. I think it's going to open up investigations into the other members. They've got a lot of PR mending to have to do. Maybe it is that not all the members have these have these accusations against them, but it is going to open up that investigations, and they're going to have to do a lot of mending to show, even though this one person from our group, we had no idea, they have to show that we are still good people and we're trying to change things in society. But media is a powerful tool. So if, word gets around, for me personally, it's one of those things where, okay, I'm not going to support somebody that I know is committing these crimes. It makes you question a lot of things.
Again, I have to emphasize this. We don't know what the story is. All of this.
Okay. I'm glad they touched on that. The other guys are not part of the family. When Jared started this, Doug wasn't with him. Nick's new. So not everybody has been around the whole time. And I don't think this is something that was talked about while they're out on the boat or when they were doing their training or anything like that. But what she is saying makes a lot of sense, and I agree with it a lot. Sometimes I don't agree with these so-called experts that come on these things. As word gets around, people are going to say, I don't want to have anything to do with that. I don't want to have a damn thing to do with that. There's other people that have diving channels. There's other people that know how to do this. They may not be as entertaining with their videos. They may not be as good at marketing, but that's okay. The end result is the same.
Is alleged. I will ask you, you mentioned something about the time frame, right? 1992, you had took the position, and it was interesting that many of these victims don't even realize the gravity of what happened to them. They don't recognize that it was sexual assault, and maybe that's why it takes so long to come forward with, accusations and charges. The counter argument is it's an old case. It's from 1992. Is there a situation where it would be really tough for the prosecution to prove a case like this?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the hardest things in discovery is dating back that far, being able to get any type of witness statements, any type of documentation that would prove these alleged claims. So that is something that's going to be very difficult for the prosecution, is how do you date back that far and get people to remember those things? Was there ever a police report? Was there ever, did they ever tell somebody, especially as a minor? You don't tend to tell your parents as a minor because, again, you don't know. You don't know at that age that you were just raped or sexually assaulted. So it's definitely going to be a hurdle for the prosecution.
And I should tell you, here at Sidebar, we have reached out to Adventures with Purpose. They basically directed us to their legal team. We never really got much of a response here, which is understandable given this news. Jenny Alcati, I appreciate you taking the time. It's a really disturbing report.
Okay, so Law and Crime, huge channel, reached out to Adventures with Purpose. They advised them to talk to their legal team. All right. Well, as I said, he's got attorneys, and he's going to be fighting this tooth and nail. Now, some people say this is really odd timing. The Kylie Rodney case obviously went crazy. Some have even suggested that this is something from Kylie's family, or SF Investigates dug this up and got charges. I don't think so, because the emails between him and the cousin were from back in February. He's trying to play it off like he was much younger. He said, I was 12 years old. I was 12 years old. She said, no, you were driving a Volkswagen. You were 17, blah, blah, blah. But he's saying that he was 12. That could be a problem. But if you see what I put on the screen, the charges clearly say in 1992. In 1992. So he's 47 now. So yeah, he was 17. So there's got to be more proof. There's got to be something. It can't just be her memory and his. There's got to be something more. Either way, He's got attorneys. You know, they reached out to Adventures of Purpose. They referred him to their legal team. And he's going to fight this tooth and nail. As far as the crew, and when I mean the crew, I mean the guys that we see, if you watch their videos, or the guys behind the scenes with the cameras, the guys on the boat. When he said everyone in my office, I don't think he meant them. I think he means the people that technically work in the office. I want to know when the guys, the dive team, the ones that do the videos, I want to know when they found out about this. Are they just were they just hit up against the side, you know, up against the side of their head last week, and they're left holding the ball? Or when this CEO was brought in, did he say, well, I've got some family problems, so I'm doing this? I want to know when they found out and why they stuck around. Well, he's 47 now. This is 2022. So 30 years ago, he would have been 17. He's 47 now. So 30 years ago was 1992. That would make him 17. So when Doug discussed this overnight, he brought up 30 years. He brought up contracts. He said, there's a code where I come from. My question right now is, when did his crew find out about this? Are they just left holding the ball, or did they make a decision to stay? Kenny said this didn't just happen overnight. Doug knew. Remember, they say there's other victims. I haven't seen any charges or an indictment on them, so I'm just talking about the 9-year-old cousin, which is bad enough. Which is bad enough. Let's see what Lone Wolf has to say. Hello, Lone Wolf.
Hey, Brooks. What do I have to say? Well, first off, because I deal with the courts, with both criminal and civil suits, being the lead plaintiff as far as in and key witness as far as in cases like this, I'm trying to remain neutral, both as far as, because I'm a victim / survivor multiple times over.
That's awful. Ask you this, so that way maybe it's easier for you to answer, and I'm truly sorry. Let me ask you this. Do you think that his team, and I don't mean the people in the office, because his email specifically said, I don't filter my emails so the people in the office know. The people in the office wouldn't be the dudes with the cameras or in the boats. It's purely speculation and conversation. Do you think that the guys that also go and look for cars, do you think they knew, or do you think they just got hit with this over the weekend like the rest of us?
I believe that the employees in the office kept it under wraps, and the guys that are actually doing the dives and everything really didn't know anything about it.
Until they found out about this. Now let me ask you this.
Because the charges weren't filed until November the 3rd.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. And I mean, I don't think they would have given him a heads up. This is when we plan to do it. I don't know how they work there. Now let me ask you this. Again, it's just your opinion. We're having a conversation. why do you think they're sticking around? Because Jared isn't going to say, Jared's not going to step away. Jared's going to fight like hell. This is his life. This is his livelihood. He's not just going to go away. Why do you think they're sticking around? I mean, they could say, look, we know how to do this. We're going to go start our own brand. Now, the equipment's his. I mean, they would have to start from ground zero. Ground 0. He's
Mm-hmm.
not going to say, here, take my boat and everything. You guys earned it. That's not going to happen.
Now, on the business side, it is okay. First off, it's an LLC, limited liability corporation. Even a limited liability corporation has stocks, even though it's not publicly traded. There are stocks involved, so it's possible that everybody, as far as with that have the contracts and everything, they could have stocks in AWP.
Well, that's really not what I'm talking about. Why do you think they're hanging around? They know what he's been charged with. They know now. And there's no separating Jared from Adventures with Purpose. He's founder. He's still going to continue getting paid. Every time somebody watches a video, he's going to get paid. That's all there is to it. I don't mean instantly. It doesn't work that way. Why do you think they're sticking around?
Well, okay, if they have stocks, okay, because of the NDAs, because of the contracts, because of the stocks and everything, they're probably sticking around because if Jared is found guilty, then you've got the civil suits that will follow, and you'll have a distribution of everything within that company. So if you have purchased stocks in the company, then you're going to stick around and collect your portion of your time, energy, money, everything that has been put into the business.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and obviously, this is not their charges. This is not, their, I have to say it this way. It's not their problem. I'm saying it like that. And there's no reason why they shouldn't continue doing what they're doing. But to me, it looks like they're on a sinking ship because, like you said, if he gets found guilty and that company gets liquidated, I don't know. I think I'd be starting something else if it was me. I wouldn't want to be attached to him, what he started, what he founded. It's not as simple as saying Jared went to jail, but we're still here. It's just not that simple because it's always been, it's Jared's the founder. It's Jared's brainchild. That's just me, though.
That's why I question why everything was put into a trust.
I heard that's a family trust.
Yeah. It's a family trust, which gets into a whole different legal ball game.
I just think they're on a sinking ship. That's what it looks like to me.
Well, yeah, they're on a sinking ship. Okay, you've got a lot of people that are, well, actually, they're making victims out of everybody in this situation.
Yeah.
Okay. But you have to look at Doug and all the others. They have a lot of time, effort, and money involved in this company. And they're not just going to walk away.
No, and neither is Jared. So people need to understand, if Doug does a video overnight and says, basically does the best he can to try to say, we're moving forward, we're not going to worry about what happened 30 years ago, people need to be educated and understand that Jared's not going anywhere either. Jared is still very much a part of this, even if you don't see him.
And just to let everybody know, okay, Jared can't leave the country. When he was indicted, he had to surrender his passport.
Kelly said Jared put a trust in his name in a family trust where the money is going. Jared pays the guys a salary, but I don't think the guys have any stock. No, I don't think so either. I don't get that.
Well, I've been in business as far as before and everything, and for a LLC, you get so much in stock and everything, and those that put in their time, their effort, and everything, they can buy the stocks from the company.
Well, YouTube pays Jared. YouTube, it goes to Jared. There's no getting Jared out of this equation. That's all there is to it. So as long as they are on those videos, Jared is getting paid. So I don't care if people like them, don't like them, want to watch. That has nothing to do with me. I can't be more clear about that. But really, educate yourself, because just because they say they've cut ties with Jared or you don't see Jared does not mean that Jared is not profiting and benefiting from, well, what he created. He's the founder, he's the owner.
Well, one benefit to the fact that they put it into a trust, okay, by putting the company into a family trust or whatever, okay, once again, if Jared is found guilty, then the victim has a better chance of getting financial benefits out of that trust, and doesn't have to worry about the company filing bankruptcy. And I'm saying this because not only am I a plaintiff, but also a key witness in the Boy Scouts of America class action lawsuit that has 800 victims. The Boy Scouts of America went into bankruptcy, and the payout to each victim, which to me is a slap in the face, is $14,000.
That's insane. That's insane. Well, as of right now, the charges are for one victim, and that is plenty. That is plenty. So if he files bankruptcy, which people are saying he'll file bankruptcy, Lone Wolf is saying it's in a trust. Either or, there's no separating Jared from what Jared owns and Jared created. So let's see real quick what Doug had to say. WW says, Brooks, that's not true. Trust me, it's not. Things get put in a trust for a reason, for legal protection. The fact that they are an LLC covers their asses more. I guess I get that. I guess what I'm trying to say is, without just blurting it out, is if you support Adventures with Purpose, you're supporting Jared. Not what Jared did, but Jared is still financially profiting off Adventures with Purpose. He owns it, he created it, it's his YouTube channel. So even if they damn him to hell, they condemn everything he did. They say he's a sack of shit. I wish I would have never taken this job, but I'm still here. Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter how much they hate Jared. It's Jared's. Jared's getting paid. Jared's getting paid.
Everybody wants to know how I feel right now. You know, I have become the voice of our purpose, you know, what we have all come together to do. And now what has happened 30 years ago has come to light, and it's affecting everybody involved with this. There are contracts in place. There's legal ramifications. I mean, you know, with me even speaking my opinion. But in this scenario, I got to keep it real to everybody who loved Adventures with Purpose, who loves Adventures with Purpose, who loves what we were able to accomplish in this world. We've proven that what we have done works, it's effective, it's a need for it. You know, we tell people stories. We are the voice for the voiceless. When we are covering these people's stories and going into their homes and representing them and telling their story of their missing loved ones, that's what it is we do. Do nothing else, you know? And I'm not just speaking for me, because I'm not the only one that's involved in this. There are other people's lives who are affected by this, you know? And that's what this is about. And being real is all you can be.
I have to disagree with Doug. I get what Doug's doing. He's trying to quell the masses. So when he says this is what this is all about, you can't ignore the fact that Jared is the founder, Jared is the owner. Adventures with Purpose is his brainchild. That's all there is to it. And it's a wonderful idea. It's done wonderful things. I think what Doug is trying to say, this happened 30 years ago. He came out and said that. So separate that from the wonderful things that Adventures with Purpose has done. That's what he's trying to say. That is all well and good. Be transparent with the public and say, by the way, Adventures with Purpose is going to continue along with our mission. Yes, that was started by Jared, but without Jared. There is no Jared. Even go as far as to say we can't get into the particulars because it's business. I think people would respect that. We are continuing on as Adventures with Purpose, but not with Jared. What are you thinking, Apple? You said I have to disagree with you. You think he said something different? Captain Napton said this is so performative. He's doing damage control for his own financial benefit, period. It looks a little scripted to me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
And telling their story of their missing loved ones. That's what it is we do. Do nothing else, you know? And I'm not just speaking for me, because I'm not the only one that's involved in this. There are other people's lives who are affected by this, you know? And that's what this is about. And being real is all you can be. That's all you got in this world is what you stand for and how you come up. Yeah, you know? Done a lot of good in this world, and everybody's got a story to tell. Everyone, absolutely everybody has a story to tell.
I get what he's saying. Everybody has a story to tell. What we're talking about right now, though, the story we're telling right now is that this man is still profiting from the brand he created, which is Adventures with Purpose. And he has been charged with 2 counts of child R. 2 counts. No, he hasn't been convicted yet. He hasn't been convicted yet. But today would be a good day to separate Adventures with Purpose from Jared. It's going to take a lot of convincing. It's going to take a lot of detail. But he's avoiding the question. The question is, hang on, Apple Pips. The question is, if I continue to support Adventures with Purpose, will Jared get 1 cent of my support? That's the question. Trusts, LLCs, all that stuff, I don't care about that. My question is, if I want to make an educated decision, right? If I continue to support you guys, however I do it, will Jared benefit from it in any way? That's the question that needs to be asked. I don't need fancy terminologies. I don't need all that. Doesn't matter. Answer the question. Now I will say Doug put this on his personal channel. It's Doug Bishop. It's not on the Adventures with Purpose channel. I don't know why it wasn't on the Adventures with Purpose channel. I'm going to guess because Jared is still very much benefiting from his company. It's his company.
You know, where I come from, though, there's codes. Where I go from here, you know, I have a lot of support, and I love everybody who's reaching out and just telling me and letting me know that I have your support, that you stand with me, and my future is just going to go with being real. You know, I'll continue to follow the passion that I've developed with helping people, with, you know, telling somebody's story. You know, I come from the towing industry, and now I pull cars out underwater, helping families get answers. I've developed that passion. It's unfortunate that I've developed that passion and this has happened. It doesn't align with what I believe in. I have daughters, I'm a father, and I come from a real rough background. And I've changed my life. I've become a really good man. And I've always followed the code. And that code has been violated. With that being said, you know, there's a lot of legal things that have to play out, and they got to play out, you know. But it doesn't involve me. It doesn't involve my name. It doesn't involve anybody else's name that's been associated with it, you know, because we've worked with a lot of people intimately. And there's a lot of people that are hurting right now. I'm just as heartbroken. I care a lot about what it is that I've been able to do. And where this goes, I don't know. I don't know where this goes. My future's bright. I'm gonna always be okay. My family's gonna be okay. And I kept it real, you know. I can't wait for lawyers to make decisions. I have to defend my family. I have to defend myself. And unfortunately, you know, that doesn't align with my future. It doesn't align with me at all. None of us, you know what I mean? None of us knew any of this. And I am just as shocked as everybody else. It's really unfortunate and heartbreaking.
Okay, it sounds there like he's saying, I'm getting the hell out of here. I was left holding the bag. I didn't know about this. I'm not down with this. That's what it sounds like he's saying right there. Bruno says I called BS. I don't blame him for saying, I've got a family to take care of, so I'm going to hang on and I'm going to get my paycheck and then I'm going to go start my own. And people would follow. I think people would really, follow. The CEO quit? Really? Brian, you've got your camera on. I'll bring you up in a second. It says, hi, all, Brian.
Yeah, man. Me, people that know me, you guys know I'm a survivor, and I got nothing to hide. I'm not gonna hide nothing. Is what it is. Um, be positive, moving forward. There's people out there that have a story to tell. There's victims out there that have a story to tell, and I have been a voice for those victims. I'm gonna continue to follow that passion, and I know I'll have the support to do so. Respected in a lot of circles with agencies, and those who know me, and those of you who don't know me, get to know me. The future's going to be great, but it won't be what it used to be. We all got to move forward, whatever that means. I don't.
He's saying we all got to move forward, whatever that means. So either he's going to start his own brand, or he's alluding to if Jared goes to jail, Jared's not going to be around anymore, or it means Jared's gone. I don't know. What do you guys think he's trying to say? Because he's talking in code when he says, I live by a certain code. Well, he's talking in code. Shit or get off the pot. What do you mean? I'm bouncing and I'm starting my own, and I appreciate all your support. Or is he saying, we're just going to see how this plays out with the courts? Because he said, I can't, he mentions lawyers and stuff like that. I don't know. Let's see what Brian has to say.
Hi there, are you there?
Hi, Brian. What's going on?
How are you? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Well, my dear, you do know that I'm very fond of you, right?
Yes, I'm very fond of you too, my friend.
Okay, so I just have to make sure. Are you sitting down? I do not want to be responsible for killing you. Are you sitting?
What do you think about this video with Doug?
Okay, well, wait. I have to tell you something else because this just broke. Nick, the tow truck driver, just gave an interview, and he is 1,000% sure that it was Kylie on Saturday. AWP screwed it all up and got it backwards. Nick totally identified Kylie, not Jagger, number one. It gets worse, you guys. Is everybody sitting? Nick's
well, now, hang on. He was sure when he did the video. He didn't say the name. They say they have the 90%. They're the ones that said, what we were thinking with who it looked like as far as being Jagger. They said, you're right on. So what do you mean? He wasn't sure then, but he's sure now?
No, that AWP lied. That Nick totally identified Kylie, not the male. AWP flipped it. It gets
what do you mean they flipped it? I saw the video. They didn't talk for him. He talked.
No, right. And they made us think that Nick could identify the male more than the female. Nick said today he is 1,000% sure that it was Kylie on Saturday. 1,000% sure. That is a quote. It gets worse, guys. Nick's employer erased the cameras on his truck.
Why would Nick's employer do that? How they have to keep that?
No, he does not know. And he said that when all that stuff started happening, where his employer was saying, no, we don't have any of the video. You don't have it on video. You weren't there. Law enforcement. I can give you guys the link for the interview. It's incredible. And
no. What I want to know real quick, because that is, I've heard about that. I believed the guy before. I don't know why he feels like he has to. That's an awful thing for him to have to come out and prove his credibility. If he saw what he saw,
right?
That's awful.
Well, no, but see, the reason why everything kept quiet because AWP messed him up. Okay, they didn't report what they took to us is the opposite. He told them it was Kylie 1,000%. They flipped it.
But I don't see how they flipped it. I watched the video.
Right, and it comes out as he was able to describe a lot about the male, the hat, the cap, the hair length, the acne, and didn't say anything about the female. But off camera, or what we have not seen yet, Nick flat out told Doug that it was Kylie Saturday for sure. He has no doubt. He also was able to show them, apparently, that he did show him his phone, Doug. And interestingly, Nick does not know Jared. Okay, Nick apparently, when she talked to him, Nick had no clue who Jared was, which is very interesting. It was stunning. It was absolutely stunning. And good for him. I'm glad he came out because
Well, we
really,
already knew they didn't use the whole video. That's why they kept saying, and people got pissed. They said, we have 90% we're still hanging on to. And when they said it was an accident, they sat on the 90%. I don't
right.
know, maybe because of this. So what do you think about this whole thing with Jared?
I think I mean, believe me, I've taken a lot of static online. I found out about Jared like six months ago, and it was just one night watching them, and all of a sudden in my head I thought, this guy is a creep. So I Googled him and searched him, and that was when I found out about a security fraud, and that just fit for me. Okay, to me in my head, this guy's a sleazebag, and obviously what just broke kind of fits. I mean, okay, was I thinking he was a ped? No, but what I think he has done is in his mind. Okay, a guy called in on Mel that worked with Jared, and Jared just fired him. And what happened was that guy on Mel yesterday did say that Jared did mention it casually. And this is my paraphrase of what I got from the guy is that Jared like told his buzz, yeah, I was 12, I touched a 10-year-old cousin's butt. Like he minimized it. He lied about the ages. Obviously, 17 and 12 is a big difference. We got puberty. Hello.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's his way of saying in his convoluted mind that everybody knows. He also admitted in there, which this part thrills me. He admitted in the email that his family apparently kept telling him that statute of limitations died. Surprise, Jared! Guess what? They changed the law. I have it. I'll post the link so you can read the law change. But man, I'm telling you, I think the next story is going to be huge tomorrow, my dear. Because
Oh, I'm not concerned about that. I'm more concerned about the fact that a 9-year-old girl was AR'd by Jared at 17, and now people are possibly still putting money in his pocket. And I have to be really careful with the way that I phrase that because I don't want anyone to think that I am
no, right.
suggesting to support or not support. I want more answers. Is he benefiting from Adventures with Purpose at all? My guess, and this is just a guess, is yes,
Yeah,
because it's
I would
a
think so
company.
too. Yeah, I would think so too. But then, see, I don't really have any concern. I do think he will go to jail. I do. We have a confession. He flat out in the thing overtly says, "My family told me statute of limitations have passed." Well, that to me means that you think you're innocent. Otherwise, you'd shut up. So he knows it's wrong. Now, I don't know how this dude could possibly think that any of us in the world would not be able to do the math and say, dude, you weren't 12. Okay, that's just simple math.
Mhm.
So really, dude, because statute of limitations has passed, you're running around telling people stuff. But guess what? People aren't okay with that stuff. They check out stuff. And here we are. See, I absolutely believe he will go to jail. Actually, I think he'll kill himself. Because he really
Oh
wasn't
God.
expecting.
Oh God, you can't say that.
Oh, well, no, I do. I think he's a very, very sick man. And I think he's very shocked that he got caught. He really didn't think he could get caught. And so he went around and did this, and now he will go to jail. And I think he's a malignant enough narcissist not to be able to handle the fame, You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's really a very sick man. Think about what he was doing with the securities. He was stealing people's money. He was putting people in bankruptcy for his personal profit. And he only got charged with one security thing. We don't know how many security things he did too. I mean, his criminal record is unreal. Find his criminal record, Brooke. It's like 15 things. It's like,
Oh, I couldn't find anything on a criminal record.
no, I couldn't either. But you know who it was? Mel yesterday read them off. And I wish I wrote them down. It was like 12 things. It was stuff with pulling a gun. Oh, bad, like violent stuff.
But how?
Mel has it.
I don't know. I don't want to go into that because I couldn't find anything.
No, I couldn't either, except for the white.
Now, so I can't go around saying that because, like I said, there's people that hate them with a passion, particularly him. And there's two PIs in particular. I'm not going to say their names. I'm not here to do that. That hate them with a passion. One has a very specific grudge against Jared. And if they couldn't pull all this up, then it doesn't exist. Now, this as far as what he did to his cousin, I know some people are like, somebody got to her and got her to go press charges. But I could see from the email exchange back in February, she was on his ass trying to get him. She even said, why don't you just go into the police station, tell them what you did, register as a sex offender. People need to know what you are.
And the neat thing was, she says, I love it when he did the gate thing, and then she says, well, thank you, now I know where to send the police, or something like that. I thought, good for you, lady. And I heard her last night, and both of them were on, the sister and the victim, and she was bright, she's tough, she's not messing around with this, she is going to follow through, she's done, she will testify, and she will put him in jail.
See, the jail part, I'm not sold on. I'm just not sold on the jail part. Not that I don't think he shouldn't go to jail. That's not what I'm not sold on. But, you know, he's a slick dude.
Yeah, he's a con.
He's a slick dude, and he's going to have attorneys. He has attorneys. People are already reaching out to Adventures with Purpose that are referring them to their legal team. And it's going to be basically a production. It's going to be a production if it makes it in front of a jury. I don't think it will. But
you really think nothing's going to happen?
I think that with the time, the 30 years, he's reformed himself, all that stuff. And this isn't me. This isn't what I want. It's just how things work. And it's going to be, well, look at the situation in Hawkins County with Ronnie Lawson with his son. And he's a nobody. He's a nobody. And for I believe four little girls, he got 20 years and he only has to serve one.
Boy, I'm telling you, you're bumming me out because I really think he's going to go to jail. He needs to go to jail.
Oh, I think so too. But what I think and what's probably going to happen are two different things. What I want to happen, it don't work that way. Let's see what Natasha has to say.
Okay, hey, thank you, my dear.
Hey, first off, I want to say thank you for letting me come up. Secondly, the stock stuff there. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, what do you think about this situation? Well, first off, do you think Doug knew? I mean, we don't know what Doug knew. Yeah.
Honest to God, wholeheartedly, I feel like he didn't. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, you know, because as we discussed yesterday on here, I have extensive history and background in, you know, street life and things like that. This code he's talking about, because Doug has been in, like, I want to say, I'm not 100%, but I believe Doug did go to jail or something. When they talk about there's a code that they go by out here in these streets, and in the prison system, especially if you have children, like daughters, and like I said, I believe Doug, the code he's talking about is we don't tolerate that stuff. We don't tolerate people causing harm to children. Doesn't matter who it is. You do not force yourself on someone. And as a child, they take that stuff very seriously in prison. Someone goes to prison for, you know, sex charges, crimes like that. They try to put them in a separate area now, but trust me,
I don't think Jared's going to wind up going to jail.
I do.
That's I do. Because you're looking at it, and I mean, what do we know about juries in Utah? What is
Um,
what do they do? I don't know. Every case is different. But I'm just,
yeah.
like I said, it's just a conversation. Did he know? When did they get hit with this? Because his talking to everybody is kind of it looks to me now like he's saying, look, I'm here now because I have a family to support, but stick
Mhm.
with me because you might see me doing my own thing. Or he
And
could be saying, look, I'm here and we've been doing great things. So don't blame all of us for what Jared did. We can't stand Jared, but we're going to keep doing what we're doing under the Adventures with Purpose name. I just wish somebody would answer a simple question, and they're not going to be able to because they can't. They can't because heads will spin.
yeah,
I want to.
I do know.
I don't care about
Also,
stocks and all that stuff. I want to know,
right.
is Jared benefiting at all from Adventures with Purpose?
He is.
There you
He
go.
is. I sent you the email. It's got the financials and stuff like that in it. But yes, he is benefiting from it. And Ryan said last night I mean, because he did a couple of lives last night, and he actually messaged me on this situation because I'm a survivor of the same type of things. But anyhow, they he donated that $100,000. He wants his money back from Jared. He didn't say from Adventures with Purpose. He said from Jared
He's not
because
going to get it. He's not going to
probably
get it.
he's probably gonna have to take him to court to get it. But I do know
He
that
can't take him to court and get it. He can't take him to
yeah,
court and get it. For what?
well,
For
because
what?
he donated the money to a operation that was being, you know,
So did lots of
and
people. They're not going to say,
right,
I mean, there was no stipulation, but hey, if I find out about this something like this about you later, I want my money back. He's not going to get that
right.
money back.
Yeah, you're true there.
One
Um,
hand, shit in another. See what fills up first.
right. And I do know that he said at the end of that though, because I think he finally realized that he might not be able to. He did say when he seen Jared, yeah. But anyway, that's beside the point. Uh, Another thing though, he is benefiting, and I pulled up it's on YouTubers, I think it is, or something other where you can actually pull up and see how much someone makes, like per video or whatever. And it shows everything on that. I have that downloaded. I can send that to you as well.
Oh
But
no, I don't need to see anything like that. I think people are taking me way too literal on this show. I don't need
yeah,
all that. What I
I
want
just
is I wish somebody in that camp would come out and say, he is the founder. He's the owner. This is his channel, by the way.
right,
This is his channel. He pays us.
yeah. Well, I
He
know
pays
that
us.
Jacob from another group that worked with them. He come forward last night also and released a video, and it says he told them, he said, we will not be working with people that he said formerly worked with, but he said worked with before, because that this company I'm talking about right now was not hired by AWP. They're independent people, and they are going to be doing their own thing. Great divers, and the CEO. No, it's not their boss. Oh yes, their boss.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. Those three words right there. Thank you, Frisco Chick.
Yeah,
Jared's their
is
boss.
yeah. So the
Jared,
people that
Jared is their
are
boss.
working for AWP have to leave now, and which I mean, they're very talented individuals in that corporation. They are. They're very talented. They are good at what they do. They have brought the age of sonar to, an era that we never thought existed, to be honest. Um, but I've been, following it and stuff like that because I've helped AWP and stuff with their chats and, different things, and it really hurt. But I've, had emails and stuff because when they would travel in the beginning, I would try to get them, rates and stuff at motel rooms and things like that because I'm a virtual assistant. So, but that was as far as it was. But I just find it weird how, the rest of the people are not coming forward. And I wish this is what I wish. I wish that Jared would just shut AWP down for real and let, the other ones come forward with their own stuff. because it's heartbreaking. It's all just heartbreaking.
Well, and in the face of all of this, they launched another video yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
Heavily monitored those comments.
Yeah. And
Heavily.
yeah, and last night I was in Jacob and them's live. Also, I wasn't on panel or nothing, but I was watching the comments, and every time someone would even mention Jared's name, it was taken off, and you could tell the hurt. I can see the hurt and stuff in them when they're talking and things like that, because it's Adventures with Purpose was that they were and I say were because I feel like AWP is no more, and it breaks my heart because of the mission that they had to bring closure
Well,
to
they can
families.
continue their mission. They don't have to continue it with Jared. They can go start
Right.
their own brand. They can jump off this sinking ship right now. But you know what is so sick? Is people can hear something so disgusting and vile about a person. Now, if somebody did something, and I don't mean like this, If somebody had a rough time in there, people can grow up and change. This is a different story. But people
Right.
forget very fast. And I think, honestly, in a month, people are going to forget about this. I really, truly do. I saw their comments yesterday, people saying, "Go, Doug, we still support you. I'm glad Jared's gone." And I'm like, are you crazy? It's Jared's company.
Right.
His. Doug works for Jared.
Right. Yeah, and like he said last night, though, he said, "I don't have time to wait on lawyers' decisions." And when he said that, to me, that made me feel like he was fixing to branch off. Now, I do know that one of the videographers, I had found it on his channel in the About section, and then I went back and it was gone, where he had said that he, as bad as he wanted to leave, it just wasn't possible right now. So, that he has a little baby also and a wife.
Well, it's like what Captain Napton said. That's what I'm trying to say. You guys are speaking for me today. Thank you. Unfortunately, good people do bad things, and bad people do, good things sometimes. That is 100% a fact. What he did, I'm not mincing any words here, is a violent
Yeah, it was
offense.
very.
Still owns the company. I'm glad that Doug went on his own separate channel, as opposed to on Adventures with Purpose, because that would speak volumes. That would be like, I'm still with them. He kind of leaves it open-ended that he might jump ship and do his own thing. He's got a lot of support behind him. He's kind of making it sound like he was blindsided. I just want to know, when they were told about this, and I want clarification. I don't think we're ever going to get it. I'm just speaking. Just because I want it doesn't mean it's going to happen. No one answers to me.
Right.
When Jared talks about everybody in my office, is he talking literally the office people or everybody on the crew?
Someone had said earlier, I believe, that his office crew is from his home. His wife is the one who does his office stuff, I do believe. I'm almost certain that his wife's the one that does the office stuff, and before that, it was his sister that assisted him, and I know that because I've been with them since they started. So,
his office crew is probably his wife that doesn't care.
His wife it was his wife and his sister. His sister's not with them anymore. So,
now, are you talking about his sister, the one that's been posting on Facebook
yes,
about being one of his victims?
Yes.
I don't think she works in the office. No way.
No, she doesn't anymore. She does not anymore, but she is a former.
I'm talking about who's in the office that supposedly knows all of this. I'm guessing
his wife.
I'm guessing it's the cousin as well. The cousin that just happened to reach out to the cousin that he violently attacked. I'm going to assume that she might be part of the office because she just out of the blue reached out to her to tell her it'll be okay. I'm here for you. Just don't do anything to Jared.
Oh, really? I mean, that's not what I got from that video I watched that where Jessica did the interview with Plain Jane. It's about a 3 hour long interview, but it really lays everything out, everything. And you can hear the hurt and you can hear the anger in her voice when she's describing these things. And I mean, she goes into detail about everything.
Oh yeah,
Everything.
I've got the detail. I understand it. It's disgusting. It's
Yeah.
disturbing. It is decades of family secrets.
Yeah.
This should have been dealt with when he was 17. She should
See,
not, huh?
she reached out to her mother, and the cousin, tried to reach out to people too, or the cousin was going to reach out, but she didn't because she was scared. And that tends to happen in these type of cases where the victim is, you know, feels intimidated. So, yeah, and I know because I am a survivor of child molestation. I'm a survivor of that mess.
Awful.
So,
Awful, awful, awful.
but anyway, I'm sorry I'm so quiet and stuff a little bit. I have to go get ready to go to the funeral home. One of my dear friends was killed in a car wreck yesterday. He
Oh,
he
Natasha, I'm sorry.
and whenever you're talking about people change, he truly was somebody who was changing, but he got out, went to the halfway house and messed up, and he wasn't going to go back. So he high speed chase, hit a bridge, got out of the car, run up a tree, and fell out of the tree and died. So
Oh my gosh.
so it's been like a rough week already for me, but I am supportive of these victims, and I do believe them. The sister and the cousin, they're both heroes in my book. Everyone who's a victim of any type of heinous childhood traumatizations or whatever, they've been victimized. They are the heroes. And people tell me I'm one. No, I'm just a voice for those who don't want to talk because I know what it's like to go through all this stuff. So anyway, if you need me to like look up anything else or whatever, I did send you the email with that stuff in it. I will tell you this, there hasn't been an update on the docket for the Western District of Missouri with the Waterman case. I'll check
Well, I
that
was
while ago.
through all that. I appreciate all that. Hey, let me know if you need anything, okay? I'm sorry that you're going through all that.
Thank you. I just got to go meet them right now and got to try to see if we can come up with the rest of the money. We're like $800 short of it, but we're gonna get it. Y'all keep me in your prayers, and I will talk to y'all later.
All right. Thanks, Natasha. Let me know how everything's going, okay?
I will. Thanks. Love y'all. Bye.
What a horrific thing. God. Well, I think I got my questions answered. Jared obviously is still getting paid because Jared owns the company. Jared is the boss. Jared is he's the one that writes the checks, if you know what I mean. I think that the whole naming a new CEO was because he knew this was coming. Doug, I don't know. Doug can't come out and just call it out from what I'm gathering just from his video, or he chooses not to. He's going to have to separate himself from this. And the only way to do it is for them to say, we've bought out Jared. Jared's no longer. We appreciate your support and sticking with us through this transition. They always call it in business, this transition. Or Doug says, I'm out of here. I've been getting all your emails. I've been getting all your comments. I've been getting all your Facebook messages, whatever. I'm glad you guys decided to go with me. It'll be interesting to see for sure. And let me ask you guys, because this is really weighing on my mind. Do you think, like what you really think, not what you want to happen, do you really think that Jared is going to spend any time in jail for this? Because for some reason, the way he was wording those emails, it was a specific way. He made sure to place himself at the age of 12. He was typing all this out as if it was like he was speaking to a jury in a way. He said, how did he say it? Let me read it again. He says, unfortunately, your desire to have a 46-year-old male, because this was back in February, unfortunately, your desire to have a 46-year-old male live the mistakes of a 12-year-old simply is not realistic. I'm almost wondering if these exchanges, if she didn't hit him before February and he hadn't already talked to an attorney. He calls himself a 46-year-old male. He's almost referring to himself in third person. Unfortunately, your desire to have a 46-year-old male live the mistakes of a 12-year-old simply is not realistic. Well, if you were 12, of course, she responds and says, you were 17, you were driving a Volkswagen. But anyway, he says, thank God we are not forever judged for our actions as youth. And I'm grateful that many of us cousins acknowledged and stopped those sins which happened to us and those sins we once committed as a result of grooming. I'm really wondering, I don't know, he's a salesman, he's a marketer, he's a greasy dude. You as a full-grown woman in your early 40s are to be commended for facing and standing up to those actions which happened to you in your past. He reminds her of her age, definitely. Spread awareness and stop the cycle as we cousins within the family have for our own children and grandchildren. Protect your own children and grandchildren as we have to help the world become a better place. I mean, and it's spaced perfectly. It's almost like a damn English teacher wrote it. But the first sentence really gets me. Unfortunately, your desire to have a 46-year-old male live the mistakes of a 12-year-old simply is not realistic. He knows how old she is, and she damn sure knows how old he is. Because she says, let's do some math here. I was 9 when living in Utah, and you forced me to have S with you on the bathroom floor. You're 6 years older. So she's saying, don't try to play it off like that. The courts agreed. He's been indicted. Now I wonder what's going to happen. What's a jury going to say? Is he going to go in front of a jury, or are we going to do some deal making? I don't know. And again, I would never suggest to anybody, I'll tell people, hey, sub this channel. It's awesome. It's a cool channel. But never, never, never would I say, don't watch them, unsubscribe. Never, never. You guys are smart. I just know for me, I can't support that because I know that Jared is benefiting. I know he is. It's his channel. He started the damn channel. Cassie said, more will come forward. That's what I'm afraid of. Sorry, I had to take a drink. My throat was getting dry. Insane. It is absolutely insane. And good luck to Doug. He's a popular character. He's a popular dude. This would be a good stepping stone for him and the perfect opportunity to step away and say, I can't support this, be a part of it, because anything I do in these missions will benefit him financially. And as far as Ryan Upchurch wanting his money back, or he says, no, I just want it to go to those guys, Jared's not going to do that. Jared's not going to do that. All that money, all those donations, all of that stuff goes into the company. I'm sure they got a bonus. Maybe. I don't know. Tamara said, time to cut ties and start again, guys. That's it. That even rhymes, Tamara. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to cut ties for today. Finish up my Tuesday. If you haven't voted, get out and vote. Get out and vote. And I will see you guys back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. If not, I'll be chatting with you in between on Discord. See you guys tomorrow. Have a great one.